The morning sun barely pierced the gray clouds hanging over the city as Amara stepped off the bus, her worn boots scuffing the pavement. She clutched a faded leather satchel, her only possession from the rural plains of her childhood, and smoothed the creases of her secondhand blazer. Today was her first day at Sterling Enterprises, a towering glass fortress of corporate ambition. At 24, Amara carried the weight of her village's hopes and her own quiet dreams. But as she walked through the revolving doors, a security guard's sneer stopped her cold. "You sure you're in the right place, kid?" he asked, eyeing her modest clothes. Her heart sank, but she squared her shoulders and nodded, her voice steady. "I'm here to work." Amara had grown up in a place where kindness was currency, where neighbors shared harvests and mended each other's fences. Her father, a farmer with calloused hands and a boundless heart, taught her that true strength lay in lifting others up. When a scholarship sent her to college, she carried those lessons with her, graduating top of her class despite whispers about her country accent and thrift store wardrobe. Now, in this sleek city, she felt like a sparrow among hawks. Sterling Enterprises, a struggling firm desperate for a turnaround, was her chance to prove herself. Or so she thought. The elevator dinged, and Amara stepped into the 32nd floor office, a hive of polished desks and sharp-eyed employees. She was directed to a cubicle, but before she could sit, a woman in a tailored suit, Lydia, the office manager, strode over. "You're the new assistant?" Lydia's tone dripped with disbelief. "We expected someone more polished." Snickers rippled through the open-plan office. Amara's cheeks burned, but she forced a smile. "I'm here to help," she said softly, her voice carrying the lilt of her rural roots. The day unraveled from there. Lydia dumped a stack of disorganized files on Amara's desk, barking, "Sort these by noon. Don't mess it up." Colleagues whispered as they passed, their eyes lingering on her scuffed shoes. At the coffee machine, a junior executive named Mark smirked. "Did you get lost on your way to the farm?" The laughter that followed stung like a slap. Amara kept her head down, her fingers trembling as she sorted papers, but inside, she felt the weight of every judgmental glance. She wasn't just an outsider, she was invisible. By mid-morning, a crisis erupted. The company's biggest client, Mr. Whitaker, was on the phone, furious about a delayed contract that threatened to tank Sterling's reputation. Lydia stormed into the break room, where Amara was grabbing water. "You, new girl, get me the Whitaker file now." Amara hurried to her desk, but the file wasn't there. Panic surged. She rifled through the stacks, her heart pounding as Lydia loomed over her. "Useless," Lydia hissed. "Can't even handle a simple task." The office went silent, all eyes on Amara. Tears pricked her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. Instead, she took a deep breath and said, "I'll find it." She didn't. The file was misplaced, buried in a mislabeled drawer by someone else's mistake. Whitaker hung up, vowing to take his business elsewhere. Lydia rounded on Amara, her voice loud enough for the entire floor to hear. "This is why we don't hire people like you. You're out of your depth." The words cut deeper than Amara expected, echoing the doubts she'd fought her whole life. She wanted to disappear, to run back to the fields where she was known, not judged. But then she remembered her father's words. Kindness turns shame into strength. She straightened, meeting Lydia's gaze. "I'll fix this," she said quietly. Amara spent her lunch break in the records room, combing through files. She didn't just find the Whitaker contract, she uncovered a pattern of errors in the company's client records, a mess that had gone unnoticed for months. Her analytical mind, honed by years of solving practical problems on the farm, pieced together a solution. She drafted a concise email to Whitaker, attaching the corrected contract and a heartfelt apology, offering a discount as a gesture of goodwill. She hesitated before hitting send, knowing she was overstepping her role. But she thought of her village, where no one let pride stop them from doing what was right. She clicked send. That afternoon, the office buzzed with tension. The board had called an emergency meeting, and rumors swirled that heads would roll over the Whitaker fiasco. Amara sat at her desk, ignored, her stomach knotting as she overheard whispers about layoffs. Then the conference room doors opened, and a board member summoned everyone inside. Lydia shot Amara a smug look, as if certain the new girl was done for. The board chair, a stern woman named Miss Carter, stood at the head of the table. "Sterling Enterprises has been faltering," she began. "But today, someone showed the initiative we've been missing." She held up a printed email, Amara's email to Whitaker. "This morning, a junior employee not only saved our biggest account but proposed a system to prevent future errors. Mr. Whitaker just signed a renewed contract, praising our exceptional new leadership." The room gasped. Lydia's face paled. Amara's heart raced, unsure if she was in trouble or not. Ms. Carter's gaze softened as it landed on Amara. It's time to introduce our new CEO, appointed last week but starting today to observe operations firsthand. She paused. Amara Thompson, please stand. The room fell silent. Amara rose, her knees trembling, as every eye turned to her. Mark's jaw dropped. Lydia looked like she'd been slapped. Amara's vision and humility, Miss Carter continued, are exactly what Sterling needs. She's not just here to lead, she's here to rebuild. The emotional weight of the moment hit Amara like a wave. She'd come to this city expecting to prove herself, but she hadn't expected this, a chance to lead, to show that kindness and competence could coexist. She cleared her throat, her voice steady despite the lump in it. I grew up in a place where we lifted each other up, she said. I want Sterling to be that kind of place. No one here is invisible. Everyone matters. Her eyes met Lydia's, not with anger, but with quiet resolve. Let's start by fixing those client records together. The room erupted in applause, tentative at first, then thunderous. Lydia hesitated, then nodded, a flicker of respect in her eyes. Mark approached later, mumbling an apology. Amara smiled. We all get it wrong sometimes, she said. Let's just do better tomorrow. That evening, as Amara left the office, the security guard held the door for her. Heard what you did, he said gruffly. Good work, ma'am. She grinned, the city lights sparkling around her. For the first time, she felt like she belonged, not just in the city, but in a world where kindness could rewrite any story. She thought of her father, of the village that shaped her, and knew they'd be proud. Amara wasn't just the new CEO. She was proof that humility and heart could move mountains, one act of compassion at a time.